today's complaint. So as alleged in the complaint, not long after 1MDB was established in 2009, corrupt officials at 1MDB and their associates began a sophisticated scheme to enrich themselves. In the first 2 years of its existence, more than $1 billion was transferred out of 1MDB to bank accounts in the names of shell corporations. These shell companies were controlled by associates of corrupt 1MDB officials. The funds were stolen under the pretense of having 1MDB invest in an oil exploration joint venture with a foreign partner. On paper, the $1 billion was to be 1MDB's investment in what purported to be natural resource rights. But this wasn't a legitimate investment for 1MDB or for the Malaysian people. Instead, the funds transferred to the shell companies were used for the personal enrichment of the corrupt officials and their associates. They used the money to pay gambling debts at Las Vegas casinos. They rented luxury yachts. They hired an interior decorator in London. They spent millions on property, some of which is subject to seizure and forfeiture based on the complaint filed today. Among the purchases was a Bombardier jet with a purchase price of about $35 million. So why does this matter so much to us? Certainly there's a lot going on in the world right now. Terrorist attacks, violent crimes, serious threats to American citizens and people around the world. Why does a corruption case halfway around the world matter so much to us here today? Well, I'll tell you for a few reasons. First, because some of the profits of these schemes were invested in the United States. And when corrupt officials bring their ill-gotten gains to the United States, they also bring with them their corrupt practices and disregard for the rule of law. And that presents a threat to our economy. It impacts trade and investment. It fuels the growth of criminal enterprises and undermines our fair democratic processes. Second, because the stable, healthy democracies around the world are the cornerstone of global security. The more we can do to help our international partners establish and maintain stable governments accountable to the rule of law, the more we do to ensure U.S. national security. And finally, we do it because the FBI and the Department of Justice and our colleagues in federal law enforcement are uniquely positioned to provide this sort of assistance. The Malaysian people were defrauded on an enormous scale. It's schemes whose tentacles reached around the world. This case is beyond any single agency's ability to effectively investigate. We have investigators and prosecutors with deep experience working matters like this, so our involvement is a natural fit. Last year, we established 3 dedicated international corruption squads based in New York, Los Angeles, and here in Washington. These squads include agents, analysts, and accountants who are experts in complex financial schemes. These specialized teams are showing real results. This is the largest kleptocracy seizure in U.S. history. We hope this investigation will send a message to corrupt officials around the world that no person, no company, no organization is too big, too powerful, or too prominent. No one is above or beyond the law. So at this point, I'd like to thank a few of our partners. First, I'd like to thank our FBI legal attaché offices. These teams are stationed overseas to coordinate global investigations like this. And part of their job is to build strong partnerships so that we can work closely, quickly, and efficiently with our international partners on criminal and terrorist threats. I'd also like to thank our partners with the IRS, with the Los Angeles U.S. Attorney's Office, the Criminal Division here at the Department of Justice, and of course our agents and analysts in the FBI's New York and Los Angeles field offices. This case is ongoing. Corruption, unfortunately, will never be eradicated because, quite frankly, greed never goes away. But we are committed to working with our partners here at home and around the world to do what we can to stop it, to ensure the legitimacy of public officials, and to create a level playing field for all. Now I'd like to introduce Chief Richard Weber of the IRS Criminal Investigation Division.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of IRS Criminal Investigation, I'm proud to stand here with the Attorney General to announce the seizure of several real properties and assets in connection with the investigation. 1MDB was originally established to drive strategic initiatives for long-term economic development of Malaysia. Instead, it is alleged that money was siphoned from this fund for personal investment, not for the good of the Malaysian people, and not for the achievement of their goals. The case is another example of IRS CI's unique ability to follow the money through complex money laundering schemes